If you pay attention while watching the anime, you will realize Ayanokoji and Katsuragi never talk to each other. However, in episode 7 season 2, Katsuragi greets Ayanokoji with such a friendly manner, even though that should be their first conversation in the series. The reason lies in volume 4.5, which was totally skipped from the anime. There is a lot of content from the light novel that didn't make it into the anime. For you who only watch the anime, you will realize a few things that didn't make sense, or were too confusing because the anime didn't explain it well. With season 4 coming soon, and you are too lazy to read the original source, let me explain a few important things that you need to know before season 4 comes out. Let's start with the beginning of Horikita and Ayanokoji relationship. In the anime, Horikita asks for Ayanokoji cooperation because she has no friend to ask for help. Not to mention she only managed to secure Ayanokoji cooperation after she trapped Ayanokoji with fancy food. This is similar to the light novel, but the anime skipped one important detail, which is the fact that Chabashira is the one who made Horikita aware of Ayanokoji's unusual ability. Right after the reveal of class points, Horikita asks Chabashira for a private meeting and questions her placement in Class D. Chabashira assures her that there is no mistake in school placement, and then she orders Ayanokoji to enter the room. Chabashira later showed Ayanokoji the entrance exam paper test where he got 50 in all subjects. This made Horikita aware that Ayanokoji was hiding something. This detail is not adapted into the anime, and just barely mentioned by Manabu, even though this one is quite important. Later in Volume 7, when Ayanokoji meets Chairman Sakayanagi for the first time, Chairman Sakayanagi mentions Ayanokoji's exam score, which might be the reason why he was aware of Ayanokoji trying to enroll in ANHS. Maybe Ayanokoji tried to seek attention from the higher-ups so his admission to ANHS would be accepted. However, because Ayanokoji never confirmed it, we still didn't know the exact reason why Ayanokoji got 50 in all his exams. This scene also told us that Chabashira had already been planning to use Ayanokoji ever since the beginning, showing how desperate she is to reach Class A. The anime also skipped Hoshinomiya's scene with Chabashira, where Hoshinomiya got suspicious about the reason why Chabashira called Ayanokoji for a private meeting. She believed Chabashira was planning something, so when Class D got first place in the island exam, Hoshinomiya immediately knew Ayanokoji had a hand in it, so she assigned Ichinose in the same group as Ayanokoji in the next exam to watch over him. Another thing that was changed in the anime, and also the biggest difference between the anime and the light novel, is the number of students that each class has. There are 40 students in each class, but the anime reduces it to 25 students. This change caused a lot of trouble with the number in the future season, such as the Zodiac exam with 12 groups that was changed to the Planet exam with only 8 groups. The anime studio somehow adapted the exam with the change of number, but the real problem appeared in the paper shuffle exam, where the students needed to make a pair. Up to this day, the fate of the 25th student still remaining a mystery. This problem with the number occurs quite often, but the anime manages to hide it quite well by rarely showing the number of groups in the exam or reducing the number of students participating. In Season 4, there will be more exams who play with numbers or groups, so you should keep in mind that the original number from the light novel is actually 40, not 25. The last episode of Season 1 reveals a lot of secrets that should be revealed in the future volume, such as Katsuragi contract with Ryuen about exchanging 200 class points with 20,000 private point transfers each month. We know that Class A failed in the island exam, but Ryuen still got the point as promised. This contract later saved Ryuen in the Class Bowl exam, but the story from Katsuragi's side was completely skipped in the anime. Following his failure in the Island and Zodiac exam and disappointing result in the sport festival, Katsuragi faction in Class A starts to lose their power. People start doubting Katsuragi ability and switch sides to Sakayanagi faction. When Sakayanagi got a chance to lead in the paper shuffle exam and win against the Ichinose class, that was the moment Katsuragi officially lost against Sakayanagi. Except for Tatsuka, Katsuragi lost all of his followers. There was a scene in Volume 8 that didn't make it into the anime, where Katsuragi still became the leader of his group but was no longer in charge of making an order. In short, he only became a puppet leader. Because of the contract with Ryuen, Katsuragi's position becomes even worse in his class. Each month they need to transfer 20,000 points to Ryuen, and that becomes an invisible burden on their mental state. That's why when the Class Bull exam happened, Sakayanagi had no hesitation in nominating Katsuragi, because if he got expelled, the contract would also be nullified. However, Katsuragi and Ryuin survive, and Tatsuki got expelled, so the contract will keep running. This whole contract thing will become important in Season 4, that's why you need to keep it in mind. Classroom of the Elite anime skipped almost everything from Volume 4.5. The only thing that got adapted was the pool episode, and they did a lot of changes so it will fit in Season 1. In Volume 4.5, Ayanokoji goes on a date with Ibuki, helps Katsuragi to break school rules, helps Horikita with her hand stuck inside a bottle, helps Yamauchi confess to Sakura, and then we got the pool episode and Kei in a swimsuit. Starting with Ibuki, Ayanokoji and Ibuki surprisingly have a lot of sweet moments together. To tell you the truth, Ibuki is actually Ayanokoji's first girlfriend. It happened in summer break when there was a fortune teller visiting the school. Ayanokoji was interested and tried to check it, but the fortune teller was only available for a couple, so he could not join in line. That's when he accidentally met Ibuki, who had also come alone. They exchanged words for a bit and then went home. However, by some mysterious fate, they came to the fortune teller again the next day, with each other still not bringing a lover. That time Ayanokoji is not yet dating Kei, and Ibuki is not yet dating Horikita, but because they really want to try the fortune teller, they agreed to pretend to be a couple. Their short relationship in the waiting line was full of uncomfortable feelings. No one tried to start a conversation because it will just make everything more awkward. After they were done with their business, both of them chose to go straight home. However, the elevator suddenly stopped moving, and they got trapped inside. Panic arose, and the heat started to affect them. Ayanokoji removed his jacket, but Ibuki didn't remove her dress. They waited for almost an hour, but there was no sign that help would come. With their body full of sweat, Ayanokoji chose to call Katsuragi for help, so Katsuragi came to the mall and informed the staff. That is the moment they will never forget for the rest of their lives. Kinugasa uses the same pattern in Volume 7.5. A few days after Ayanokoji conflict with Ryuin gang was over, Ayanokoji accidentally sat next to Ibuki when they were watching a movie. That was a very uncomfortable moment for them, so Ayanokoji decided to leave first. Surprisingly, Ibuki followed him and asked for a rematch. Ayanokoji agrees with the condition that Ibuki will stop bothering him if Ayanokoji wins. And then they enter an empty room so Ayanokoji could beat Ibuki once again. Ibuki finally admits her defeat. However, when they tried to leave, the door wouldn't open. Feeling deja vu, Ibuki starts to scream while Ayanokoji figures the way out. Ayanokoji calls the staff for help using his phone. And to explain why they were alone in an abandoned room, they must pretend to be a couple. Everyone knows why a lover needs more privacy in a room without a surveillance camera. Not to mention Christmas was around the corner, so the staff let them go. And that is another core memory for the two of them. In Volume 11.5, they meet each other again while using the same elevator. However, this time the elevator was working perfectly, but they were spotted by Ishizaki, who teased them for dating, and Ibuki kicked him as a response. If you ask why Ayanokoji called Katsuragi for help, there was an event a few days ago where Ayanokoji and his friends were shopping to buy a present for Inogashira's birthday. They spotted Katsuragi buying a present in the mall and got curious as to whom he will give that present. After some investigation, Ayanokoji found out that Katsuragi was trying to send that present to his little sister outside the school. However, contact with the outside is strictly forbidden. Even when Katsuragi asks for student council help, he still cannot send his present. Seeing this, Ayanokoji invites Katsuragi to his room and proposes an idea to send his present. Ayanokoji's plan was to involve Sudo and his club tournament. Because Sudo will be going out of school to compete against the basketball team from another school, Katsuragi will give the present to Sudo, and Sudo will try to find a way to mail it. Long story short, Sudo succeeded with the smuggling, and Katsuragi gave him 100,000 points as compensation. And that was the beginning of Ayanokoji and Katsuragi relationship. There is another story that isn't really important, but mentioned a bit in the anime. This is about Yamauchi's one-sided crush towards Sakura. Back in the deserted island exam, Ayanokoji promised Yamauchi that he would give him Sakura's contact number if he poured mud on Horikita. In Volume 4.5, Yamauchi demands that promise to Ayanokoji. However, instead of a phone number, Yamauchi asked him to deliver a love letter to Sakura. He is planning to confess his feelings towards Sakura. Ayanokoji gave that letter to Sakura, which caused her to be nervous. She thought Ayanokoji was giving her a love letter, but Ayanokoji quickly explained that he is just a messenger, making Sakura disappointed. Sakura didn't know how to respond to that letter, so when Yamauchi asked her to meet, she asked Ayanokoji to accompany her because she was too shy. And that's how Ayanokoji witnessed Yamauchi confess and got rejected. However, when Sakura leaves them alone, Yamauchi accepts that rejection with a smile. That's why Yamauchi never mentioned Sakura again. The last scene from Volume 4.5 is the pool chapter, which was adapted into Episode 7 Season 1, but with a lot of change. The plot is the same, however, instead of Horikita, Kei is the one who was tasked to thwart that plan. Horikita only came because Ayanokoji threatened her with the water bottle incident, so the whole Horikita cringe speech never actually happened. And if you are wondering what in the world Sakayanagi was doing visiting the swimming pool, rest assured, that scene never happened in the light novel. There is no Ryuwen or Manabu, but the rest are basically the same. The anime makes the girls wear a bikini for extra fan service, while in the light novel they wear standard school swimsuits. In the anime, the episode was ended with Horikita smiling because of her enjoyable summer experience and unexpected friend that she made. In the light novel, there is an extra scene where Ayanokoji asks Kei to play in the pool wearing her swimsuit after the swimming pool was closed. Kei rarely attends physical education class because she is afraid someone will see her scar while she is changing, so swimming is not her favorite activity. However, Ayanokoji forced her to wear her swimsuit and then pushed her to the pool so she could enjoy herself while nobody could see her. When Ayanokoji tries to pull her out, Kei pulls him into the water. Ayanokoji didn't resist even when Kei tried to drown his head in the water. He thought to himself, it was worth to drown if Kei ended up enjoying herself. Horikita or Karizawa, which smile did you prefer the most?